Hello, hello, boys and girls. I hope you are enjoying your Friday afternoon. And we are up to the final lesson of the week, which is mathematics. And it's a bit of a big one on the card. So you're really going to have to put your thinking caps on and you're really going to have to apply yourselves with this one because I'm sure you're all aware that even in the best situations, it is very hard to learn fractions. So it's going to be even harder learning fractions on YouTube without being face to face with your teacher. And fractions is a bit of a tricky concept to teach. So parents might have a difficult job trying to explain it to you as well. So all you can do is try your best and apply yourself, okay? So forgot to mention, you will have this worksheet in front of you, and as you can see, it is a big one, 4 pages. So it's a lot of work today, but you will finish your Friday feeling very good and very accomplished. So let's go through the WALT and the WILF. We are learning to represent fractions using linear models and symbols. We are also learning to form generalizations about fractions equivalent to a whole. What I'm looking for, can you model and represent thirds, sixths, and ninths using a range of materials, diagrams, and symbols? So we've got materials, diagrams, which are pictures, and symbols, which is the written form. Can you also identify fractions equivalent to a whole? Can you also identify language associated with fractions? So that's a big one too, using the proper language around fractions. So you're going to need 36 counters. Now let me just move the camera because I'm going to try and do some of the teaching like this. So you can see that I've got 36 counters here. Okay. Now hopefully the camera, hopefully you can see that all right. Okay, because it's going to be a little bit tricky. So if I go back to here, so it says divide the counters into 3 equal collections, right? I'm going to do it with the counters. You're going to do what it says on the side afterwards, which says draw 36 dots in your math book and divide into 3 groups. So if you look, I'm going to put my counters here. I'm going to have one group here, one group here, one group here. And this is how I share. You can see I've got a total, and I'm going to get the total, and I'm going to put one there, one there. I'll just check that these are showing up okay on the screen. And that looks pretty good. And one there. Those are my 3 groups. So hopefully you can see those 3 groups. Just put them right there. Okay. And I'm going to just continue that. I'm going to put one there, 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 one, one more, one more, one more. I'll just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm always checking that I've got equal amounts in each group. Because, you know, if you share a piece of pie with your brother or sister and they get a little bit more, you're not going to be happy, are you? Okay, one there, 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 one there. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one's got 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So now I've got 3 equal groups. I'm going to count how many are in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course there's going to be 12 because 3 multiplied by 12 equals 36. So what I want you to do now is pause the video, draw 36 dots in your book, and then put a circle around 12, put a circle around 12, and put a circle around 12. Okay? Off you go. Next, I want you to do this that's on the screen in your worksheet. It'll say how many counters are there in each collection. So you need to tell me how many counters are there in each of these groups. You go, pause the video. Now, B says, what fraction has been created? Keep in mind, this is how I write the fraction. So I first do the numerator, which is the number on top. Think of your numerator as your head. It's the top part of your body, isn't it? So the number on top, or the numerator, is always one of the collections. Okay, so if I look at this collection, I've got 12. So I'm going to write 12 at the top. Then I do my vinculum, which is the line that cuts the fraction in half. The vinculum also means what? What does the vinculum mean? It's related to an operation. Yes, correct. The operation is division, because we divided these, didn't we? Then we got to do the denominator. The denominator is how many altogether. So that's generally the bigger number, but not always the bigger number. So how many counters do I have altogether? I have 36. So that fraction is written like that. And if I did this as a sum, 12 divided by 36, that would give me 3. Okay, so you're seeing that it's related to division. It's also related to multiplication, because 3 multiplied by 12 gives me 36. So 3 equal parts are called thirds. So these counters have been split into thirds. You with me? Good. Now, draw the 3 equal collections of counters in the 3 boxes below. My apologies, because I got you to do that in your books. So if you could put those 3 collections here, and we know that there's 12 in each collection, into those 3 boxes in C. So the 3 boxes represent the 3 groups. All right. Each group has 12 counters, so in each of those boxes you will need to do 12 dots. Pause the video and off you go. Right, now I'm going to do the next part with the counter. So I'm just going to check that you can see everything nice and clearly. So it says, regroup all of the counters back into the 36. Then it says, regroup, divide the counters into 6 equal collections or parts. So I'm going to have one collection here, 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 and here to create 6 groups. So hopefully I've got enough space. So if I put one group here, okay, and I put one group here, 3, 4, 5, and I might have to squeeze one group over here. So I'll put one group down here, one group down here. And again, I'm going to start sharing the counters into their groups. So I'm going to go one by one, like I did last time. Last time I made a bit of a mess of it, didn't I? So again, I'm going in the same order each time. So we've got 3 in each group. We've got 4 in each group now. Got 5 in each group. Now we've got 6 in each group. And now I'm out of counters. So I'm going to look at them now. I've got 6 groups. They are all equal and they all have how many in each group? 6. Correct. So you can answer A there. How many counters are there in each part? Off you go. Right, now, what fraction has been created? So again, I'm going to do this on my sticky note, and I want you to do it in your head. First of all, we do the numerator, which is the amount in each group. So think of the numerator. Got it? Good. Now, we do the vinculum, then we do the denominator. The denominator is the total amount of counters. You got it? You got it in your head? Right. Answer B. What fraction has been created? The answer is 6, vinculum 36, or 6 over 36. So the 6 equal parts you have created are what we call sixths. I find sixths hard to say. Fractions get their names from the number of equal parts that the whole has been divided into. And that's why the vinculum is the same as a division symbol. Now, draw the 6 equal collections of counters in the boxes below. So you're going to draw that into your boxes in C. Off you go. Pause the video. Now, let's do the final one. It says, get your counters all back together. I'm going to put them to the side here. And then it says make 9 groups. So I'm going to put one group here. I'm going to put one group. Sorry, it's not a good angle. I just need to check that all the groups are in fact visible. Hopefully you can see these. I'm going to put one group here, one group here, one group here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one group down here. Okay, so now I've got 9 groups. And again, I'm going to do the same process. One here. I've got 2 in each group now. Okay, now I'm going to put 3 into each group. I'm going to put 4 into each group. And There we go. So I've got 9 equal groups and I've got 4 in each group. Wait a minute. 9 and 4 multiplied together to make 36. That's because they're inverse operations. We've been learning about that too, haven't we? It's all interconnected. That's why mathematics is a great subject. So, if you look at 3A, how many counters are in each part? Off you go. Yes, there are 4 counters in each part. What fraction has been created? I'm going to get you to write that down by yourself. Off you go. Okay, you ready? You ready? You ready? Here's the answer. Was that your answer too? Fantastic. So you notice that as we divide into more parts, our numerator starts to get smaller and our denominator stays the same. Now, the smaller the numerator in comparison to the denominator, the smaller the fraction is getting. So as you can see here, there are less in each part now. So this fraction is what we call ninths, which is 9 equal parts. So draw 9 equal parts in C. Pause the video and off you go. Now for the next part, we need to make sure that we've got an A4 sheet of paper ready to go. So I'm going to get this. Make sure you've got an A4 sheet of paper ready. Might actually get one with nothing on it. Just like that. Okay? So pick up. So what I want you to do now is I want you to start cutting this piece of paper into strips. So we're going to go with, I think, 4 strips. So I'm going to get my scissors, okay, and I'm just going to cut it up like this. Okay, so I'm just cutting them into strips like that, all right? So you can pause the video, and if you're as fast as me, you can do it with me. You'll need 4 strips of paper. So, have you got your 4 strips of paper ready? Fantastic. Take one of the strips of paper. This represents a hole, okay? So, label the strip as one hole. Here's my pencil. Use my highlighter. Pause the video and off you go. So, that's how you should end up with it. Now, pick up the second strip of paper with Mr. G. Do this along with Mr. G. Now, fold it into 3 equal parts. It's hard to do thirds. What you need to do is sort of go like that. Okay, so see how I'm doing it? You need to get mum or dad to help you. You might have to. And then you wait until it's about equal and then you fold it. Then open that back up and you've got 3 equal parts. So in that section there next to 6C, it says name the fraction. What is that fraction called? Good, it is called 1/3. Now label each part in word form and symbol form. So I'm going to write the words 1/3 and I'm going to do a 1 vinculum 3. Again, 1/3 and I'm going to go 1 vinculum 3, 1/3 1 vinculum 3. So it looks like that. It is the same concept. We've got one part here, we've got 3 parts in total. So 1 is your numerator, 3 is your denominator. So can you count with Mr. G? 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. 3/3 is the same as 1 whole. So I'm going to put them down. Pick up this third strip of paper. Briefly fold them into 6 equal parts. Then explain how you did it. So I want you to do it by yourself. I'm going to do it as well, okay? I want you to see how you go at folding it into 6 equal parts. Then I'm going to show you how I did it, okay? Right, so here, if you're having trouble, don't worry, that's completely normal. If I were to take this and I were to fold each of these into half, there'd be 2, 4, 6. So if I folded each third into half, I'd end up with 6 equal parts. So what I'm going to do is I folded that into thirds, then I'm going to fold it in half. You can see that each time it's getting smaller because as the fraction increases, the parts get smaller. So if I open that back up, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're doing this live, so I better not make a mistake, hey? So if you needed to skip ahead because you had trouble doing that, I want you to now pause the video, go to 7b and explain how Mr. G folded that into sixths. Okay, now I want you to name the fraction. So go to 7D and name the fraction. Yes, that fraction is 1/6. On mine, I'm running out of room because I've got a highlighter. I'm going to just put the symbol form. I want you to put on yours the symbol and the word form. Also, I'm trying to be quick so I don't hog up all the YouTube time. And there you go, that's how mine looks. Now, let's count along together in sixths. So you ready? Got your voices ready? 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. 6/6 is the same as 1 whole. So have a practice at doing that by yourself, counting in sixths, because that's the language part of this lesson, isn't it? Okay, pick up your final piece of paper, fold the strip into 9 equal parts, fold it into thirds, then fold it into thirds again. This is probably going to be the trickiest one. So I'm going to fold it into thirds, like so, like that. Then I'm going to fold it into thirds again. It's quite tricky. I really got to make sure they're all as equal as I possibly can, and then I do it into thirds again. So pause the video, go to 8b and explain how you folded that up. Go to D and name the fraction. Now label each of those fractions. Just like so. Count along with me in ninths. 1/9, 2/9, 3/9, 4/9, 5/9, 6/9, 7/9, 8/9, 9/9. which is the same as 1 whole. Describe now, on 9 on your sheet, what happened to the parts as you kept folding the paper. The parts kept getting. Pause the video and answer that question. Glue each of the strips onto an A4 piece of paper so it looks like this. You can glue it into your math book. You've now got a fraction wall. This fraction wall represents thirds, sixths, and ninths. Fractions get their names from the number of equal parts the whole has been divided into. Using the thirds, sixths, and ninths wall that you have created, write short answers to the following questions. A. How many thirds are equal to 1 whole? Write in both symbol form and word form. So if I look back on this slide and I count, how many thirds make up 1 whole? I've got 1, 2, 3. So that would be 3 thirds. So the numerator would be 3, vinculum, the denominator would be 3. So it would look like that. And it would be written as 3 thirds or 1 whole. Okay? So when the numerator and denominator are both the same, that means it's 1 whole, doesn't it? 100 hundredths is the same as 1 whole. So I want you to do B and C by yourselves. Off you go. Good. So for B, 6 sixths would be 1 whole, and for C, 9 ninths would be 1 whole. Briefly explain in D what you notice about each fraction that is equivalent to a whole, and I gave it away before. Off you go. Yes, when the numerator and denominator are the same, they are equal to 1 whole. Very good. Right, this can be written on a printed out worksheet or on a scrap piece of paper. Write the fraction names above each of the marks on each of the number lines. The first one has been done for you. So if I look at number 1, I can see that the first number is 0, the last number is 1. Okay? I start at 0, watch my mouse, and I count the parts after 0. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 parts, which means that this number line has been split into fifths. So I need to, on each one, write 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 1 stays the same. Let's look at B. Count how many increments or little lines there are between 0 and 1. Remember, 0 is nothing, so I don't count the 0. Pause the video and count them. Okay, did you count 8? That's what I counted. So this number line must be split into eighths. So on each of these little lines, you need to count in eighths. Count with Mr. G first. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 1 whole. Write those on each of the lines. C, what I want you to do is go through and count how many increments or little dashes there are between 0 and 1. Now, that is the amount of parts it has been broken up into. I want you to, above each of them, write the fraction. Pause the video and give that a go. Now, this is what I got. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, 10/10, or 1 whole. Did you get that as well? Fantastic. Now I want you to finish D, E, and F by yourself. Give it a go. And that's the end, guys. It was a big lesson. It was a very big lesson. I'm really glad you persisted with that one. You can go to your weekend knowing that you have really, really worked hard. Okay? If you need to go and watch that, if you made a few mistakes, that is totally fine. Life is about making mistakes, isn't it? You can always go back and watch the video again and even give some of the questions another try if you found it a bit difficult. Otherwise, have a great and safe weekend. We've done 2 weeks of online learning. We are learning so many skills. I want you to spend the weekend thinking of all the different skills that you are learning in this time. You are learning things like resilience. You are learning things like independence. Okay? You are learning how to make the best of a bad situation. You're probably spending a lot more time with your family, and you're probably having to find things to do that you probably wouldn't have always done. I know that Mr. G has been doing a lot more reading. He's been doing a lot more writing than he usually does. He's been doing puzzles, and he's been doing a lot of things that he doesn't usually do. They've been really good for me. So I hope that you are in the same boat. I hope that you are doing things that you wouldn't usually do in isolation, or hopefully you're doing things in isolation that you wouldn't usually do in your day-to-day life. Okay? So we are learning a lot through this crisis. Anyway, I'll stop blabbering. Thanks for being a part of this lesson and have a great weekend.